Hi, welcome to We Wine Whenever. I'm Wendy.
I'm Dana.
Today I'm recording with my high school friend, Dana, and we are going to be talking about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 14, Episode number 1. And this one is entitled, Grace, Time is Over. And we start out, I kind of like how it started out. It started out with like a scene of Rodeo Drive, and they're showing us all the opulence of Rodeo Drive. We saw Louis Vuitton and all the expensive stores. And then we see Sutton goes over to Jennifer Tilly's house. What did you think of that, Dana?
I like Jennifer Tilly.
Yeah.
I think she's light and airy, and she's just like fun.
Yeah, she's
I like her
definitely
personality.
Fun.
Yeah, I think she is a different vibe than the rest of the cast. You know, because she's got the acting behind her.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think it's like an odd relationship, Sutton and her, out of all of them.
No, I do too. They're an odd couple, which is kind of funny, right?
Yeah.
So they're talking about their jewelry. So Sutton has on her bracelet, and it's a Cartier bracelet, and she's calling it El Pantheon. And Jennifer's like, "You mean panther?" And she's like, "Well, I'm French. I'm telling it in French."
It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. It is. And then she's talking about her daughter, how she just graduated from college and she's going to be going to law school soon. But her daughter's going to be visiting with her for a little bit in the summer. And she's going to be planning a party. It is a Salvador Dalí surrealist themed party. I had no idea what she was talking about.
Neither did I. No. No.
Sorry.
No. It's ridiculous. Another ridiculous thing.
It definitely was ridiculous. It was ridiculous, but you know what? It was fun to watch. I'll say that.
I'm sure we're going to see the party.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see that party, right? So then we see, she tells Jennifer that after filming stopped, her and Kyle were not in a good place when the reunion ended. And she really felt like she missed Kyle, so she reached out to her and they went out to sit down and talk because she'd be shopping and seeing things and be like, "Oh, I want to send this to Kyle," because they were really close. They really were friends. So they wound up reaching out and going out to dinner. We didn't see this. It was obviously off camera, but she lets us know that they really mended things. You know, they were, by the end of the dinner, they were both crying and embracing, and they're friends again, which is good. This is what I like to see in these shows. I like to see the friendships. I don't like to see the fighting and the backstabbing and the petty BS. I like to see real relationships.
Okay, I like to see the fighting. It's what makes you want to watch it, right? Like, if they're all friendly, like, why do I want to watch you all be friends?
That's so funny.
I enjoy watching them argue. I think if I was Sutton, I thought the whole ending of last year was really odd. I thought Kyle got odd and Sutton got odd, even when they sat down at the table together. I thought neither one of them handled that friendly or like they were friends. I think Sutton's like, whatever word she used, she was like saying how Kyle mistreated her.
Right.
And it just was an awkward, and then Kyle got up and left, and it just was horrible. I don't know. I kind of wonder if they're really friends to the extent of what we think.
I mean, I do think that they're friends because I do know that Sutton, has always been friends with Kathy Hilton.
I want to be friends with Kathy Hilton. She's a trip.
I do too. But you know who doesn't want to be friends with Kathy Hilton is my co-host, Kelly. Kelly just like Kathy Hilton. I like her.
She is so, I want to say so rich that I don't think she resonates. And what was it? Okie dokie? And she has to.
No, hunky dory.
Hunky dory. Like, was that a joke? Or, I mean, your hunky dory age, you know what I mean? Like, how do you not know that word saying? I don't get it. Anyway, but I just would like to hang with her because if that's really who she is, that's pretty fun.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think she'd be a lot of fun to hang out with. So then we see Erika's shopping. She's shopping for new furniture for her house, and Dorit meets up with her because when she moved out of the mansion with Tom, she kind of took only the furniture that was going to fit in her new place. She just took what was there. it wasn't really her style per se. It was, now it's just a reminder of Tom, which she doesn't really need at this point in her life. So now she's ready to put her own furniture in and, give it her own stamp of approval. So her and Dorit meet up and they start talking. And Dorit sits down. Oh, this was funny. Dorit sits down and she's like, we need, I've got something to tell you. And Erika's like, well, I can't sit down. I've got my leg makeup on. I can't get that white furniture all dirty. So she's standing there all awkward. And then they find a dark bench for her to sit on. She's like, all right, I can sit on this. And then Dorit tells her that, PK and her agreed to separate. And the look on Erika's face, and she even said, I'm going to cry. She was genuinely sad for her.
But she called it.
Well, she did call it. And even Dorit said in her confessional, she's like, it's kind of ironic that I chose to tell her, because she's the only person she told. When she's the one went at BravoCon, they asked her a shady question and she gave a shady answer. And that's what Erika does. And pretty much that's what they all do. You ask a shady question, you're going to get a shady answer. But did you feel that Dorit, when she was talking to Erika, she thought maybe they could work it out? Did you get that vibe, or did you get a vibe that it was over? Because I got a feeling like she was thinking that they could bring it back together, maybe. I didn't get the vibe that she thought she could bring it back with her. I thought that Erika was kind of how long is it for? What does this mean? But I think that Sutton pretty much, the other interesting thing about it was, Erika, when Dorit told Erika, she said, we decided to separate, right? She said it was a mutual decision. But then when she went over to Kathy Hilton's house, she said it wasn't her decision, that it was PK's decision. So I thought that was interesting. When she's telling Erika, it's one thing, and when she's telling Kathy, it's another thing. And that's the stuff that I don't like. I don't like when you're just not honest about what happened. Was it your decision, or, was it mutual, or did PK decide to do it? Because after we see PK talk to Mo,
decided.
Yeah, because after we see PK talk to Mo, that's kind of what PK said, right?
Yeah, well, that's what made me think that maybe she was in the back of her mind, she might have a little bit of hope that they'll rekindle. That's what made me think. I think her saying that to Kathy that it was him, she's got to be embarrassed, because it's been in the tabloids with the other woman, all this other stuff that's been going down, his drinking. So she has to be embarrassed. So when she's telling her story, I think that she is not consistent, because there's just things she wants to think of, in her way. And so when she was telling her Erika, it was we. But then when she told Kathy, it was I or him.
No, it was him. It was him. Right. Yeah. I mean, I think that that's probably what's happening. But I don't like the fact that she keeps throwing out that word about him drinking and him being an alcoholic.
Yes.
And he was on a journey, and then he decided. And I mean, even when she is talking to Kathy, she says that, what did she say? Let's see. She said,
called him an alcoholic a lot.
She did. Kathy asked Dorit if the kids know, and she said, well, we didn't tell them, and we're not going to. We can do things we can do things as a family. It's not toxic. And he has a sober coach that I'm not privy to. Then she goes on to say he's a full-blown alcoholic. Those words came out of her mouth talking to Kathy Hilton. Now, this is the father of your children, the children that you're not telling, who we know are ages 8 and 10. Really? Do you not think that they're going to see this?
Or somebody's going to tell them?
Well, I mean, at some point in their lives, they're going to see this, right? I just, I thought
that whole thing was bizarre about not telling the kids.
I did too.
Mature parents getting divorced, they're going to sit your kids down and we're going to explain things aren't working out, but things are going to be fine with you. But that was just really weird.
Yeah, because they're going to see it. Kids know. They're going to feel the energy. They're going to see it. They're going to know that he's no longer sleeping there. Yeah.
A kid, they're going to go to school. You think these kids don't sit and watch these shows with their parents? You're out of your mind. It's like watching a soap opera. I watched my soap operas with my grandmother my whole life. Somebody's going to
Yeah.
go up to one of those kids at school and say, your parents are getting divorced. And no,
Yeah.
I'm sure they told them. I'm sure there's more to that.
I hope that they did. I really do. Then we see Kyle and her daughter, Portia. They're trying to move a chair, basically. It was a big production. And Kyle lets us know that Mo just moved out last week, and her other daughter moved out a couple weeks prior to that. And she's not used to, Mo is the man of the house. Like, she doesn't know how to turn on her TV. She doesn't know how to turn on her music. She doesn't know how to turn on the pool light or the pool heater. She was, although they weren't there together a lot, like, she leaned on him a lot. And now she's really realizing, that doesn't mean you need to be married.
I could relate to that. I could relate to that part, with me having 4 daughters and Brian, my sons are out.
Right.
Meeting my husband. So when she was lifting the couch with Portia, I've been there and I don't know how to do the remote either. So I related to all that.
Yeah, exactly. And then we see Erika shows up at Kyle's house. But before she went to Kyle's house, she told Dorit that she was going to Kyle's house. And she said, I'm going to go see Kyle later. If you don't want me to tell her, I won't say anything. And she said, no, don't tell her. I really, honestly, I love the way Erika handled that. I love that she asked her instead of, just avoiding the subject or just telling her without her knowing. I think
she wasn't a Tamara.
Right. Exactly. She wasn't. So in her confessional, she said that her friendship with Kyle is very unbalanced and that Kyle hurt her when she went on the Amazon Live. And she said that, they weren't really friends and they didn't go out that much. It wasn't, And then we hear from Kyle that she was hurt by what happened at BravoCon with Dorit when Andy asked the question, which, like, when they play those things back, it's funny because when I saw it the first time, I didn't think anything of it. But my thought is, if you really think that you're friends with somebody and you're finding out that you're not by an Amazon Live or on a BravoCon panel, I see where that would be hurtful. Because I do believe that Dorit thought they were friends.
I thought it was shitty what Kyle did. I think Kyle was a really shitty friend to her last year. And I thought they were very good friends. I mean, the husbands were good friends. They were good friends. You could just feel that and read that right through everything. And after everything that Dorit went through with the house getting broken into, I mean, that was traumatizing. And then
Definitely.
And then you go back to when they were on BravoCon and Kyle hits her when she's with the water and it goes all over her. And then they ask the question, who's your favorite? And she doesn't put Kyle up there. That was hurtful to Kyle. You just blasted water in her face. Like, give me a break, Kyle. Okay?
I don't even think it was water. I think it might have been alcohol. I think they might have been doing shots or something. I don't even know.
That was rotten. That was rotten. If anything, Dorit did it. It was just kidding around when she said it. You could just tell in her demeanor. But for Kyle to use that as the reason to say that they weren't that close was crappy.
Right. No, I agree. I totally agree with you. And then we see Garcelle is in Atlanta, Georgia, and her son Oliver comes to visit. And we find out, I did not realize Garcelle was so busy right now, but she's working on 2 projects. She's working on, one is Abducted at an HBCU. It's part of the Black Girl Missing. It's a movie. And she's the executive producer on that.
I thought that was great.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then the other project is Tempted by Love by Terry McMillan. And that she's starring in as well as executive producer. I mean, these are huge roles. This is huge for her.
I like Garcelle.
I do too. I think she should be proud of herself.
Yeah, I like Garcelle. I kind of think she bullies Dorit. I think, I don't know. I don't want to say she's got it in for Dorit. She just doesn't seem to like her. So I noticed that's my feeling when I watch. But I love Black Girl Missing. I thought the movie was great. I was proud of her. I'm a Lifetime original crazy person. Those are my things to do anyway. But I think Garcelle's like a class act.
I do too. I think the thing with her and Dorit is they just never got off on the right foot. And every time Dorit would try and explain herself, Garcelle felt like she was making excuses and just making her sound more out of touch than she wanted to admit. Because they come from two different worlds. And Garcelle was just tired of trying to explain to her where she was going wrong. She's, told her, like, you can't. It all started with the angry, when she called her angry at Kyle's party.
I thought that was ridiculous. I think Garcelle, that I did not like what Garcelle did with that. I think that was just nonsense. Nonsense.
I think she was trying to explain to her how she feels because, Black women are called angry Black women, and it's a stereotype. And, it's different if I call you angry.
No, come on. No, listen, have you met me?
I think it is.
I'm angry, okay? I'm angry.
I know you're angry.
No. She should not stereotype that with her. No, honestly, I'm telling you, I think in my head, and she continued it. It wasn't like she said it once and dropped it. When they went to a party and she brought it back up again. On that note, I didn't like Garcelle. I think Garcelle just likes to bully Dorit. And she used that, it was nothing. Nothing. Come on. You have a bigger backbone.
I think that's what, though.
Garcelle.
I think that's what got them off on the wrong foot, though. I think that's really what.
That one, I think it's been for a long time.
You do?
I just never felt like she liked Dorit. I just never felt it.
Yeah. So her son Oliver comes, and they're talking about his son, whose name is OJ, which stands for Oliver Jr. I mean, I get that his name is Oliver Jr., but I just feel like you can't call anybody OJ after OJ Simpson. You don't say it like.
Yes. Aw.
I mean,
okay,
I don't know.
Now, that's something to consider,
right?
She should say to her kid, what are we thinking here?
Right. But,
Yeah, OJ, no.
No, right? So then Thursday, May 9th, the news comes out. It's all over the media. PK and Dorit announce their separation, and we see all the ladies are reading it online. They're all talking about it. Kyle's talking to Erika, and Erika says, listen, I already knew about it. This is when Dorit goes over to Kathy Hilton's house, and I don't even know what Kathy Hilton was doing. I know she was getting her hair and makeup done, but I saw there was like an IV bag there, and she had something going on with, I have no idea. Do you have any idea what she was doing?
That's probably like some sort of flush. Like maybe she had cocktails last night, or that's what they do.
She had a whole team there.
Personally, I think it's ridiculous, all the money that they spend. I mean, I put mascara on. That's what you're getting. I think it's insane that they all lay back and they have 4 people working on them. It's ridiculously stupid, I think. But yeah, I don't know what Kathy was going, where she was going, what she was doing.
I don't know either. Yeah, so then, they talk about the whole PK thing, and she, once again calls him an alcoholic. And at the same time, we see Mo and PK meet up, and Mo asked PK, how he was doing, and he said, not good. And he didn't look good. You could see it on his face immediately.
And he cried.
He did cry. He did. And Mo lets him know that he'll have good days and he'll have bad days because, he just recently moved out of Kyle's house, but they've been separated for a while, and he's been going through this for a while. I thought it was nice that Kyle texted PK, and PK told Mo that, Kyle texted him and sent him a very nice message. But did she text Dorit? Because if she didn't text Dorit, then why is she texting PK? Because then that's not right.
I think we would have heard that she texted Dorit. I think that was really shitty. That she went and texted him, and you don't text. She's your girlfriend. Why are you texting her husband?
Right. If you're texting them both, that's one thing. I mean, do you want Mo to text Dorit?
Yeah.
Right?
I hope he does. Yeah. At this point, I hope he does. I just think Kyle is a brat. I really am not liking the person she's becoming sober. If that makes sense. I like drunk Kyle better than I like sober Kyle. And I think sober Kyle's more screwed up in the head than drunk Kyle was. That's just my take on it, because she's a crybaby. She's getting so much plastic surgery. She's so far from what she originally looked like. It's like, when do you stop at perfect? Like, when are you not so insecure that you have to continue to rechange your face over and over and get procedures done? Kyle's very insecure. She's a very
She's definitely
insecure
insecure.
person.
I agree with that.
And she's a great mom. She raised 4 beautiful daughters, but somewhere Kyle doesn't see Kyle's worth, and she is reaching, and she should just realize she was great before. This Kyle is a little off her rocker, my opinion.
No, that's okay. I like sober Kyle. I honestly don't think she was ever, I don't think she ever had a drinking problem. I think she liked to have
Me
fun
neither.
and party.
That's me.
And she's, chosen just to kind of, you could see she's working out. She's very much into fitness. She doesn't drink soda. She was drinking kombucha when Erika came over. Like, she's into a healthier lifestyle. And I guess
and that's great.
Yeah. It makes her think differently, I guess, of what's important and, what she wants for the rest of her life and what she's willing to accept and not accept. Because Mo does ask PK, like, what changed? And he said, well, I got sober and I started thinking about things and I just realized that, we changed. He said, she was my Bonnie and I was her Clyde. Like, we would go out together, and we would do things together. And then all of a sudden life got in the way. And then, then the kids came along and, that's what she said. He was always the social one. She would stay home. And that's going to come in between a relationship, That's going to be a problem. So
yeah,
I get that, we talk about this like as couples, you and Brian have been together for how many years?
Too many. 34 now?
34 years. So you've been married 34 years or together 34 years?
No, married 32.
Married 32. So Bill and I have been together 33 years, but married 26. And what I was saying, and you can agree with this or not, but we are different people than we were when we met them. We're different people.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
a different person. Bill's a different person. You're different. Brian's different. And as couples, you can either grow together or grow apart, because life isn't easy. Marriage is work. It's not always, fun and games. And you of all people know this.
Yeah.
Right?
No, and I think at this stage of the game, it's either they're your best friend,
right,
or you're just kaput. So, Brian's my best friend,
right.
We do everything together. Do we fight? Absolutely. Do I want to kill him every day? Absolutely. But
right.
He's my best friend. And that's what makes our marriage work, because we can go off and have a crazy, ridiculous time together and then come back and be parents.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So then Dorit, in her confessionals, she says, I chose to stay by PK through a lot of public scrutiny, the bankruptcy rumors, the gambling debt, the suspected DUI. And PK doesn't believe that there's a middle ground. Everything with him is extreme. It's either black or white. So he doesn't want to work on it. He's the one who said that, no, we need to separate. And that's when I go back to, I think she wanted to work on it. I don't think she realized the extent of, what was going on with their relationship, because she was content with staying home with the kids and him going out. But, all she did was complain that he was never there. All last season he was in London.
Yeah, I got to stick up for her here. He was away doing his thing.
Yeah.
And she was getting rumors after the robbery. I didn't find him very consoling.
No, he was a jerk.
I felt he was extremely cold. I couldn't even imagine having my kids in another room and I have a gun to my head and there's people invading my house. That right there is like so traumatizing. And whether you like to read or not, you have to have a heart and be like, that. I wouldn't want that to happen to my worst enemy.
No, I agree.
That's just something that's crazy. And as a husband, I don't think he was there for her as a husband. And then he left. And she was scared to be in the house. And she was scared. And then the rumors. And she still wanted to make it work with him. She should have kicked him to the curb. But
right,
she must really love him. And then he wants out. And I'm going to say he wants out because he's probably out having a good time doing his thing. And it's not his thing anymore to be with a wife and kids. You know, these people have so much money that I think they lose sight of like homegrown reality, good stuff. And they just go off and they ruin it. You know?
But do they really have so much money? Because we see now in the press that their house is in pre-foreclosure.
Yeah, I saw that.
So is there really, or is it just all a facade? Because really, what does PK do? No, and this is the question a lot of people ask. I mean, yeah, he was Boy George's manager, but I mean, it's Boy George. Like, where is he making all of his money?
I don't know. I don't know what else he does.
Right. And I think...
And they make comments like you can't wear the same outfit ever twice.
Right.
I mean, and everything's Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Fendi. Those outfits are ridiculous.
Right. And they say that Dorit doesn't borrow. Dorit doesn't wear fake. Dorit buys all of those designer clothes retail. She pays retail for them.
Well, he let her. I mean, because clearly she's not out working. So he gave her a credit card or something to have carte blanche to go buy whatever she wants. But still, I mean, they lose sight of humbleness, I guess I'm saying. You know what I mean? Because you just think you're so up there. And really, like honestly, you're not Oscar award-winning people we're talking about. You're me, just with a TV camera following you and a debacle.
A couple million.
And what?
A couple million.
Yeah, seriously. But you're a debacle. And that's what people like, this debacle, this marriage failure, this, you know, and then some will go through it. And I hope Dorit, I hope she really grows from this. And, you know, her British accent and all her little quirky weirdness. But I think now this is making her have to stand on her own 2 feet a little bit. And again, after the robbery, I think she's got her nignads and she might really come out ahead of the game after this is all over. I hope so.
No, I hope so too. I hope so too. So then we see they're all getting ready to go to the party, and Erika's on the phone talking to Dorit, asking her, you know, as they're getting ready, are you ready to see Kyle? And, you know, she's a little bit nervous about it. And then we see Kyle on the phone with Kathy talking about it. And she's also afraid to you know, encounter Dorit. And then Sutton goes to walk through her party, and she comes out with her antlers on her head, and she's talking to her party planner, and she's, you know, saying how excited she was about the way it turned out. And we see what it looks like a couple hours earlier, and it really did turn around a lot in a couple hours. She says there's a lady on stilt with 3 faces. There's an alpaca, a monkey, there's swimmers in the pool. Like, this was like literally a 3-ring circus.
It was ridiculous.
What did you think?
It was ridiculous. Again, my word of the night is everything was ridiculous. No, it was, the outfits were so weird.
So this is funny.
Why would you have an alpaca and a monkey?
Listen, this is what I think is funny.
I didn't see any 10-year-olds.
No, there was no 10-year-olds. This is what I think is funny. So when we started this, I said, I don't like the fighting and I don't like the drama, right? And you said, well, that's what I watch it for, right? So I watch it for the crazy over-the-top fashion and these absurd parties. I find this entertaining. I thought it was great. I couldn't wait to see what the next person walked in wearing. Between Jennifer Tilly with the swan hat and the swan dress, she reminded me of Bjork from the Grammys many. You remember that?
Yeah.
The black swan, and then Dorit's dress with the disc, like the disc on her head and the clear plastic. I don't even know what it was. I don't even know.
I don't think Dorit knew what it was either.
I don't think so either. But I was excited to meet Bose. I didn't even know who. Honestly, I didn't look it up before I started watching it. I knew that there was a new housewife, but I didn't know anything about her. And it was amazing to me that the 5 seconds that she talked to Dorit, we learned so much about a new housewife.
She seemed nice. She seemed very nice.
Very nice.
And I actually saw Bethany Frankel was on a flight, and she saw her, and she knows her from years ago, I think Netflix or something.
Mm-hmm.
And she said to her, I'm on Beverly Hills. And she was like, oh my God. So Bethany went down and was like, congratulations, blah, blah, blah. She goes, did you sign the Bethany
Clause.
disclosure or whatever it was? And she
Mhm.
said, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I think she's gonna be a good addition.
Yeah.
So I
The
guess
other
she
one last
came
year
in.
was, oof,
She was not good at all. No,
not nice.
no,
Not nice.
no. So she's just retired after being in corporate America for 25 years. She was the chief marketing officer for Netflix, Uber, and Endeavor, which owns WWE. And she's 47 years old. She's only 47 years old.
Sounds brilliant.
Yes. And then Sutton is talking to her, and she starts with, my husband and I were separated. He's an alcoholic. I have young children. We were together 9.5 years. And I'm like, oh my God, why? She just met this woman. Why is she like giving her all this like horrible information? And then Bose was so gracious about it. She's like, I'm widowed. I can empathize with you. I was married 10 years and we separated. And then he got sick. And then we reconciled. And, they
That was
both
sad.
found, yeah, no, it was sad. But listen, they bonded right then and there very quickly. They were both 47 years old. And I think that they're going to be good friends. I really do. I don't think that was fake. And I'm interested in seeing where that relationship goes on this.
Yeah, I like that. That was very humbling on both ends. And I felt really
Yeah.
bad that her husband passed away and our kids were small.
Yeah, I totally agree. And then Kyle and Erika are on their way to the party, and Kyle's nervous, and she comes in with those big antlers, and Erika is wearing like a black and white cat suit with black and white big eyeballs on her shoulders. Honestly, again, you thought it was ridiculous. I loved it. I mean, I could not wear it, but if I could pull that off, I would show up wearing the same thing.
No, not me.
Would you put the antlers on?
No, I thought it looked like Illuminati weirdness. Like, I don't know, like Rothschild's weirdness pictures. It just gave me that vibe. I'm like, what kind of party is this? Right?
It was crazy, but again, I like the crazy. I do. I think it's entertaining.
I couldn't wait for Kyle Dorit to sit down.
Yeah. Yes. Yep. So first, Garcelle sits down and asks how everyone's doing. Kyle said Mo moved out 2 weeks ago and Alexia moved out a few weeks before. And then Kyle says that she wants to tell the ladies, but since Garcelle is the only one there and she feels comfortable saying something to her, she says that, everything that's going on with all the tabloids, she doesn't want to mention her name. She only wants to speak about herself. And Garcelle's like, okay. She's like, well, right now there's nothing there. And then Garcelle said, well, are you with her? Like, can I ask that? And she said, no, she's still figuring things out. And, she doesn't know. She doesn't know where she's at. Now, I'm sure you have very strong opinions about this. So I would love to hear what you have to say.
Okay. She said she never, ever has questioned her sexuality.
Right.
So my
Inner
saying
confessional.
is, yeah. But my theory is, so you're strictly dickly your whole life. And now after you become sober, you're leaving your husband. I mean, we actually don't even know why she left her husband. It was just, she wasn't feeling that vibe. And then the way they separated was so weird. And him staying in the house. And I kind of feel like Kyle played a big game through this whole thing. She wanted her cake and eat it too. She wasn't really letting him go. And then she goes and meets this young girl, this country singer, and she feeds her audience that she is in a relationship, because that's what she's done this whole year, is fed us that this is where she's going, right? And now she's saying no, she's not, and she's confused. Like, and listen, you're the mom of 4 daughters. You did a great job. I don't know why you're losing your footing. I don't understand why you're letting yourself become somebody. She's clearly not that person. She's a reserved woman, kind of. Like, she's crazy at parties and drinking and whatnot. But she's not a let me dive into this pool and try that, and dive into this pool and try that. Like she said, she's never questioned her sexuality. So why are you questioning it now? Is it because people are going to show more interest in you, Kyle? Because you, I don't know. I always look at her as the one. Kim Richards is so talented acting wise for years. Kathy Hilton is Hilton. And then there's Kyle. She's Lindsay from the Halloween. That's her claim to fame, right? And then she got this gig on Housewives, and it made her somebody. But at the end of the day, I just think Kyle's a very insecure crybaby. I think she's better than she doesn't give herself credit. I think she just needs to pull her pants up and just be Kyle and stop trying to figure things out, because she knows who she is. And she just has to love herself and she'll be fine. That's the way I think. Because I don't like who she's becoming or where she's trying to go with this. I don't know. I think it's not fair to Morgan, right? Either. Like, because
Well, she said that they're not together. We don't know exactly what their relationship is. We just know what, tabloids tell us as far as that's concerned. And listen, she did say that in her confessional that, she's trying to figure it out. Think that, like I said earlier, I think we're allowed to grow. We're allowed to change. We can look at things differently, in a different light. She spent all these years with her husband and raising her children, and that was her focus. Now all of her children are growing up and they're gone, and Mo is gone. And she's got all this money and all this success, but is she really happy? Maybe she's not really happy. And then all of a sudden she meets this person who happens to be a female who she connects with. And again, she wasn't looking for a sexual relationship. She just had a feeling with somebody, right?
No, and in the beginning, she always said she's a great person and she's a great friend. And I thought she made that very clear last year, that she loves her, but she's
as a friend.
We're just friends.
Right.
And I don't know why, or maybe I fed into the tabloids too much, but maybe she didn't. No, she didn't. She wasn't clear. She was clear, but she didn't continue to be clear. She should have, in my opinion, she should have just said, she's my best friend.
Right.
I love my best friend. I mean, she just told Garcelle, no, she's not with her.
She's not with her, but she also said that she wanted to have a conversation with her daughters. And I understand that,
Absolutely.
She wanted to have a conversation with her daughters before she said anything publicly. And when she thought that they'd be embarrassed of her. And, when she told her daughter Portia, who was her youngest, she said, there's nothing that you can do, Mom, that we wouldn't love you. Right?
But she didn't say what she told Portia.
But listen, why does she need to tell us? This is what I think. I don't think she owes us as an audience anything.
I agree.
I don't think she owes us anything.
No, but I don't think she could have kept that she shared with her daughters private too. You know what I mean? Like that's something we didn't need to know. I mean, it's beautiful that her daughters love her unconditionally, no matter what she chooses in life. I would hope my daughters would do the same. But I just feel like Kyle is overdoing everything. And I feel bad. I feel like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I wasn't in her marriage. I don't know her marriage. And there's rumors that he was a cheat also, right?
Right.
But and maybe she had it. I mean, we don't live that life.
We don't live there, right? We don't live with them. We don't know what goes on behind doors. And honestly, I feel like as a viewer and a fan of the show, they don't owe us any explanation for anything. The fact that she even said to us that, she's never questioned it before, but all of a sudden, all these changes are going on in her life and she doesn't know what to feel. She doesn't know who to turn to. She doesn't know who she can trust. And she found this person. And I also think that she's also very, very close with Teddy. I think her and Teddy are very close. And there was times where that was rumored that there was something going on. And I heard those rumors again recently that this whole thing with the horse trainer with Teddy, I mean, I saw that Edwin thought it was actually Kyle and Teddy having an affair and was surprised to find out it was the horse trainer and Teddy. So listen, they live their life under a microscope as it is. And I don't think it's easy for them. And again, I don't think they owe us anything. I think that she is doing the best that she can do given the circumstances that she has. And that's how I feel about it. I don't.
And I just feel like I'm stuck on old Kyle. I'm stuck on old Kyle, the mom, the great mom, the husband, the wife, the kids. It was good when what we saw.
Saw, and I'm sure it was good for her too. But that's not what she has anymore, and she needs to do.
But if Morgan makes her happy, and that's where she wants to be, then just go and do it. Like, don't play and make the world.
I don't think she's playing. I don't think she knows. I think she's confused because she never.
I think she knows.
I don't think she does. She never had those feelings before for a female. I don't think she knows. I don't think she wants to say that this is,
At this point, I think she knows.
I don't know. I think we will agree to disagree on this one.
I would love to. Listen, I would just love to see her be her and good in her own skin. Granted, she looks great, all the working out, the stopping drinking. Those are great things. I'm not discrediting any of that. Those are great things. But to take things to such an extreme, everything's got to have a happy medium. And I don't think Kyle's given herself happy mediums, maybe. I don't know. But I miss old Kyle.
All right. So then we see Kathy shows up. Kathy Hilton shows up. I don't know what the heck she was wearing, but that was not the theme. Whatever she was wearing was not the theme. And she sits down. She gives Kyle a hug and she sits down and she starts taking her hair extensions out. I was like,
she's a kook.
She really is a kook. She is I feel like that's something you would do, Dana. I could see you showing up at this party. You're not dressed for the theme either. I could see you sitting down. They put these extensions. They're driving you crazy. You're like, I'm not doing this, and start ripping them out in the middle. Yep. I could definitely see you doing that. This is why you like Kathy. And this is probably why I like Kathy, because I think she's entertaining. And you know what? She does whatever she wants because she can.
She can, but I mean, I'm sure there's a side to her that is wicked. Okay?
Oh, I've heard she's got a wicked side.
There's a side to her that's very wicked. But I would like to hang out with the side of her that's doofy.
Yeah.
That's the side. Like, I'm doofy. I'm ridiculous. I am that person that would take my hair extensions out or fake eyelashes off. Yeah, I am. I can totally relate to all that.
I mean, the funniest thing was Bo's reaction to it all. She's like, I have never in my life seen anything like this before. She even said if my wig was tilted, I would sit there with my hand on my head and I wouldn't even shift it.
No.
Oh, boy.
I would listen, I would take the heels off. I don't even know how they wear the heels that they wear.
Yeah, I don't know
I
how
would
they
go
do
from
it
the
either.
car to the table and they would come off.
Okay, so then let's see what happens. So Sutton gets up and she thanks everybody. And then she has this performer show up called Yellow Cat. I don't even know. I don't even know what she was singing. Do you know what she was singing? Because Erika
I have no
liked
idea.
It.
Of course Erika did. No, I had not a clue. I was in that audience wondering just like the rest of them.
Yeah. I mean, it looked entertaining, whatever it was. And then Kyle pulls Dorit aside and says, if she has a minute, she would like to talk to her. And this is what you were waiting for. And she starts with, I'm sorry with what's going on with you and PK. And actually, I didn't finish it. I told you I did. So I missed the end part of it. So I have that Kyle said, I know we both had a lot of hurt. And then I went to eat dinner. So I actually didn't finish it. So you said that what happened at the end? Because I don't even know.
It's not resolved.
Okay.
I think it goes into next week. I just think Kyle's reasons for her being hurt were not valid. I think that she is trying to play the victim. And maybe that's the word I've been trying to say this whole time, is Kyle is becoming a victim. And like, you're not a victim. You're Kyle Richards. And Dorit's not a victim either. You're Dorit. You're both on Beverly Hills Housewives.
Right.
Pull your pants up and let's be real. I don't know what Kyle's beef is with Dorit, but Dorit like went back at her and was like, I'm sick of your bullshit. Okay. I've had it. And it was great because Dorit got in the car, got a cigarette, lit her cigarette. I'm out. Like, and good for her. Like, it was great. I was like, that was great.
And what did Kyle do? Did she just stand there?
No, I forget at the end. They were just going back and forth, and Dorit was just adamant on how like my feelings matter too. And you know, I was joking, Kyle. I was joking when I didn't pick you as my favorite or whatever they asked her at BravoCon.
Right.
And then they showed the clip, and then you see the cocktail or whatever it was go all over Dorit, and Dorit's like, "Oh my gosh!" And it was all in good fun. It wasn't something for Kyle to take and use as a weapon against her ever, and which she did. And then she said something else, and again, Dorit was just like, no, I am not. You are wrong. And for you to be that, we were good friends. We were very good friends. They went places together. I think they traveled together. I don't know.
All right, so we're going to have to wait. Yeah, it is sad. It is sad. Like I said, I don't like to see friends break up on these shows. I like to see them have fun. I like to see them go on vacations. I like to see them do silly things.
I like to see them go on vacations and do silly things too, but I like when they get into their tiffs on vacation. You know, like Tamara's got to go, but Tamara's like keeps the show. I mean, as bad, it's like, it's kind of weird. Like you have to be that bad person. I couldn't live with myself. Never to be able to keep a secret or just to be loyal. Like that's what that show does. Like there's really, in all of them, that's the one thing. Loyalty is something that's very scarce. And the ones that are loyal are decent people, you know, I think.
No, I agree with that. I mean, OC right now is a disaster. I haven't, well, it's on tonight, actually. The last part of the reunion's on tonight, right?
Yeah.
So we'll have to recap that at some point. Maybe you'd like to join us. But before we do that, I want you to talk a little bit about your products that you created called The Perfect Lift and how that came about. So Dana, I told you we went to high school together. She is the mom of 6 children. Not 1, not 2, not 3, 6 children. And they range in age from, your youngest is Tanner, and he's how old?
20.
And your oldest is?
Danielle, 30.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize it was 10 years. I didn't even know that. I'm learning something too.
I don't remember it. It was wild.
Tell everyone about The Perfect Lift and what it is and why you created it.
So my son has Duchenne muscular dystrophy. It is a really crummy disease and it robs you of all your muscles. I kind of say it's kind of like an ALS in a kid. So he can no longer use his arms, use his legs. He can't walk, but he's brilliant and he's beautiful. So we wanted him to be able to do anything that we would do. And the challenge was tough. So one day we put him in the pool and we came out using another type of device and we almost dropped him. He weighed 300 pounds and we put it in his wheelchair and we burnt his wheelchair battery out. And I just turned around and looked at my husband and I said, we got to do something. And together we put our minds, sat on the ground, drew, asked friends, talked to people, got different ideas. And we created a manual portable lift that allows 2 or more people to quickly and safely transfer someone into a pool. It drains all through. It weighs 1 pound. You could have up to 8 people, but we can go on a plane. We can go on a boat. We can go to our friend's house. And if the wheelchair can't get in, we can literally pick them up and put them on a couch. Small holds up to 350 pounds, medium 550 pounds, and the large 750 pounds. We had them all engineered, tested. It's life-changing for a lot of people. And for me, the biggest, most makes me cry is I'll be home and my phone will ring and I'll have someone call me from down south where they had a tornado go through, and the parent will say to me, "Do you realize we got our son out of the house and into a shelter?" And I had a parent tell me they lost everything, but they got out because of the perfect lift. Things I invented this so that Tanner could go on a toilet, in a shower, and in a pool. I never saw the plane. I never saw the pool. It just became something that Tanner won't leave the house without it on him, under him all the time now. He went to high school and somebody pulled the alarm and he freaked. He was on the second floor and the principal said that mother made that lift, and they ran upstairs and they got my kid out of that school in 2 minutes, and the nurse met them outside with a manual chair and put him right in that. So Tanner, for him, it's a way out of any emergency situation. Our van broke down on 195 and I had the lift that goes up into the van, and the cops had to stop the road, stop all the traffic. We had to get a vehicle to come pick us up, but we couldn't lift a 400-pound wheelchair. But because we had the lift, we could get Tanner out and into a manual chair and into another vehicle. I have had parents tell me that the Disney jungle boat broke down because they had the lift. They walked their kid through the water. Discovery Cove, over 30 kids went and swam with the dolphins because of the perfect lift. And then now it's on fire trucks all across the United States, EMS cars, lifeguards using it. It's for search and rescue, for bodies, body parts. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It is crazy. Just because you had an idea, because you wanted to do something to make life happen again for your son Tanner, so that you could go over to people's house because you were isolated and you were stuck at home, and because he couldn't, if they didn't have a wheelchair ramp, it was hard to get him into other places. And now he can go anywhere you can go. And you really have changed his life, and you've changed many other lives, because I've been with you to these shows and I've seen the testimonies from people, and I've witnessed it firsthand, and what you've done is amazing. And I'm going to link it in our bio here so you can go to her website and you'll be able to purchase the perfect lip, and let anybody you know that has any kind of mobility issues, even if it's, a grandmother who falls, and to try and pick up an elderly person when they've fallen on the ground and they're dead weight is very difficult. But if you have something like perfect lift, you can roll them, get them perfect lift underneath them, and then you have handles to pick them up. So they won't worry about breaking bones and injuring themselves on the pickup. So seriously, take a look at the links that I'm going to put in our podcast, and you can go to her website and see all about it.
Yeah, thank you.
No, thank you.
I always go back and say, I had one person buy it from me, and I asked them, I said, what do you need it for? And she said, oh, I don't need it. It's like a generator. I don't ever want to use it, but if I need it, I have it. And I was like, that was good.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, so it really is. It's very humbling.
So until next time, thank you for watching and listening to We Wine Whenever. I want to let everyone know we have a contest going on. Check out our social media. We are giving away, raffling off a bag, a custom embroidered We Wine Whenever bag. So check us out, follow us, leave us 5-star reviews, because it really does help us. And we'll see you next time. Thanks, Dana. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Wendy.